Okay, so today we will learn about adsorption isotherm and adsorption isobar. Now, from our knowledge of thermodynamics, we know that isotherm is a graph where temperature is kept constant and isobar is a graph where pressure is kept constant. So, when we learn about the adsorption isotherm and isobar, actually adsorption isotherm is a graph. Isotherm is a graph between x by m in y-axis to P, that is pressure, in x-axis. Now the question arises, what is x by m? Now x is the mass of the adsorbate and m is the mass of the adsorbent. So we have two things, adsorbate and adsorbent. Now when I say x by m, this entire quantity means extent of adsorption. Now it is pretty obvious, because what does x by m symbolize? How much substance is absorbed, how much substance is adsorbed measured in mass upon or divided by how much is the mass of adsorbent. So upon a particular mass of the adsorbent, how much substance is adsorbed on its surface, this upon that is actually the extent of adsorption. মানে कितना ज़्यादा বা কত বেশি adsorption হচ্ছে, कितना ज़्यादा adsorption हो रहा है, कम adsorption हो रहा है, ज़्यादा adsorption हो रहा है. अगर x का वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा है, सोचो ज़्यादा mass of adsorbate is absorbed in less mass of adsorbent, that means amount of adsorption is very high. सपोज कोई बोल दिया कि 0.3 ग्राम ऑफ एड्सॉर्बेंट है, उसके ऊपर 8 ग्राम एड्सॉर्बेट, तो देखो कितना बड़ा एक नंबर आएगा, isn't it? So I hope that you can understand that this number, this entire fraction, the bigger the fraction is, the bigger this fraction is, more is the extent of adsorption. So yeah, that is the thing that we should understand. Okay, so mass of the adsorbate by mass of the adsorbent, this is known as the extent of adsorption. Now when to understand adsorption isotherm, we also need to understand that adsorption is a equilibrium phenomena, is a reversible phenomena, reversible phenomena in case of physisorption, means physical adsorption, which is there in your syllabus. And the graph between x by m and p is known as Freundlich's adsorption isotherm. Now you may ask me, sir, then in chemisorption, see, it is not a reversible phenomena, you have learnt in last day. In that case, it is known as Langmuir's adsorption isotherm, which is not there in your syllabus. And you are lucky it is not there in your syllabus, because it was more tough. So anyway, we have Freundlich's adsorption isotherm, which is also not very easy, but very interesting too. So we will learn Freundlich's adsorption isotherm, where we will plot a graph between x by m and p. Now to understand this graph, certain things that you should keep in mind is what is x by m, which I have just explained, what is an isotherm, which I have just explained, that at a constant temperature we will draw the graph, and also third point that you should remember is that adsorption is a reversible phenomena in case of physisorption. Means if it is a reversible phenomena, what should we understand? Suppose for example adsorption is going on. Okay, suppose this is a surface, and on the surface adsorption is going on. Okay, now at low temperature, if you consider adsorption is going on, sir, why should we consider low temperature? Because you see, at higher temperatures adsorption doesn't occur. If you remember, if you increase the temperature, desorption will occur. So if you increase temperature, as because adsorption is a phenomena which releases heat. Now if you increase the temperature or heat, it will according to Le-Chatelier's principle, desorption will occur. If I have to show it in an equation form, adsorption is reversible phenomena with desorption plus heat. Means when desorption will occur, then heat is absorbed, but when adsorption will occur, heat is released. So if you increase the temperature, according to Le-Chatelier principle, it will shift this side, so desorption will occur. So that's why you have to do this experiment at lower temperatures, so that when equilibrium is reached, when adsorption is occurring, all the particles are getting attached to the surface. Okay, at lower temperature, it will support adsorption, but still at lower temperature, the equilibrium will be reached. Maybe the Le-Chatelier principle will not occur, that it will shift, desorption will shift towards adsorption, but still an equilibrium will be reached. An equilibrium will be reached because a particular amount of surface area is available, and after the surface area is filled up, saturation is reached, then what will happen is they will try to come out. The molecules will try to come out of the molecules will try to come out. Now if the rate of coming out of the molecules marked in blue is equals to the rate of going in of the molecules, means the rate of desorption that is coming out of the molecules and the rate of adsorption that is going in of the molecules is equal at a particular pressure, then rate of adsorption if becomes equal to the rate of desorption at a particular temperature, at a particular temperature and a pressure, this pressure is known as equilibrium pressure, or saturation pressure, denoted by PS. Okay, so if you keep these things in mind, I hope that you will understand the graph now. Suppose now I start plotting the graph. Here in the x-axis I will plot x by m, and in the y-axis I will plot pressure. At the beginning, when you are increasing the pressure, then pressure on the molecules of the gas, suppose it is going on in an enclosed vessel. Okay, you have kept the adsorbent, this is the adsorbent, and the adsorbate molecules, the gaseous molecules, are here. Now what will happen is that these gaseous molecules will try to attach to the body of the adsorbent. Fine. Now this rate will increase continuously if the pressure of the gas increases. So at higher pressures of the gas, the x by m value will be more amount of, suppose it is going on at a lower pressure. Okay, then how much amount of x will be absorbed per gram of the adsorbent, and if you increase the pressure little bit, suppose in another vessel the pressure is little bit more, then the amount of x absorbed upon m will be little bit more because of the pressure. So you will at first obtain a straight line. Okay, then the line will little bit bend and become like this. Now if I break this graph into three parts, one is the first straight line part, curved line part, and then it became like this. Now, from your knowledge of mathematics, you know that whenever a straight line like this comes, that means x by m is directly proportional to p to the power 1, means linear equation. In this part of the graph, where it is see how much you increase the pressure. If you increase the pressure, adsorption is not increasing. That means x by m ka value is not changing. So that means for this part of the graph, x by m should be proportional to p to the power 0, means not depending on p. P to the power 0 means not depending on p. But this is a curved path. Now, for a curved path, from the knowledge of mathematics, you should know that x by m should be proportional to p to the power 1 by n, where n varies from 0 to 1. Okay, where n varies from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0. Sorry, not n, 1 by n varies from 0 to 1. I am so sorry. 1 by n varies from 0 to 1. Now, if this is the situation, this is represented by this part of the graph, this is represented by this part of the graph, and this is represented by this part of the graph. Now, chemically, if I try to understand why this graph is coming, see, at first you are increasing the pressure, adsorption amount is increasing. After that, when you increase the pressure, adsorption amount is increasing, but not at a rate that you are thinking that how much I will increase, that much only pressure, how much pressure I will increase, that much only adsorption will increase. Because why this is not happening? Because it is slowly reaching the saturation point. It is slowly reaching the saturation point. Means, suppose the particles are getting absorbed, okay. When it was getting absorbed and lot of surface area was available, it was, with the increase of pressure, it was increasing. But once it is reaching the saturation point and only little bit of surface area is left, then the graph will bend. It will not directly, be proportional to the amount of pressure, and hence x by m will be directly proportional to p to the power 1 by n, where 1 by n varies from 0 to 1. That's why you got a curved line, because it is reaching saturation, and when it became constant, it has already reached saturation. Means in this point it has reached saturation. So this pressure is saturation pressure, PS. Okay, after that it will not be. Now, one interesting thing is that I can express the entire graph as x by m proportional to p to the power 1 by n, or x by m is equals to k into p to the power 1 by n. Now you may ask me, why sir, why can you do it? Because here I have said that if n becomes 1, then it will become p to the power 1, which can represent this graph. And if 1 by n becomes 0, if 1 by n becomes 1, then it will be represented by this. Then this part can be represented by this. And if 1 by n becomes 0, then this equation only represent this. Only in case of other numbers it represents like this. Suppose from internet you can find out the graph of root over x. See how it looks? It looks like this. Okay. Or from the internet you see the graph of cube root of x. It will slightly look downward, but it will look like this. So that is the thing you should understand. But the entire graph can also be represented by this, according to the logic that I have said. Now, if I consider this only, now if I draw the, now one thing you should keep in mind, that this is isotherm. This is isotherm means I am not disturbing the temperature. This is happening at a particular temperature. Sir, if I change the temperature, then what will happen? In isotherms, what happens? Then you will get another graph like this, maybe. You will get another graph for the same gas, for the same condition, if you change the temperature. Now, if anybody asks you that this temperature is high or this temperature is high, obviously, here the amount of adsorption occurring is low, and here the amount of adsorption occurring is high. So this temperature is low, because adsorption occurs at lower temperature more and higher temperature less. So that logic should be in your mind, but you will get separate graph, and all of them will be isotherms. Okay, so I hope that up to this much you have understood. If I draw the graph again, suppose, so x by m be p. Now this is the graph that we are talking about. So this graph is represented by x by m is equals to k into p to the power 1 by n. You know what is x by m, you know what is 1 by, you know what is p. And at this point it is ps. Fine. Now suppose if I take x by m is equals to k to the power k into p to the power n, if I take log x by m is equals to log k to the power p to the power n, then according to the rules of logarithm, log x by m is equals to log k plus log p to the power 1 by n. So log x by m is equals to log k plus 1 by n into log t. Now if you look at this equation, what does this equation, what does this equation look like? This equation looks like, if this is y, because x by m was plotted in y, if you see. Now I consider this entire to be y. I will make a new graph where I will not plot the values of x by m. When I do the experiment in a closed vessel, okay, then how much amount of x by m is coming, I will convert each of the value to log x by m and plot it here. So this will be represented by log x by m, which is y. And if I express the pressure as log p and not just p, convert each of the pressure into logarithm and express log p, then this doesn't be. Do you remember y is equals to mx plus c is the equation of straight line? So this becomes the m, slope, this becomes x because it is in the x-axis, we can see, because this is in the x-axis, we can see mx plus c, this becomes c. C means y-intercept, right? So y-intercept up to this much maybe. So this will denote log k. So if you obtain a straight line like this, the slope of the graph will be 1 by n. Slope will be 1 by n. And yeah, done. Y is equals to mx plus c. Slope is 1 by n. So if you understand up to this much, it should be log x by m, this one log k, and this one log p, you will obtain a straight line. Now why I am saying this? Because if you do really the experiment in your laboratory and try to express all the values in log and plot the graph, if you get a straight line, what will you conclude? What will you conclude? You will conclude that yes, absorption isotherm equation, that is x by m is directly proportional to p to the power 1 by m, is correct. Means adsorption follows this equation. It depends on pressure in this way. And this assumption that I have all done, whatever I have explained here, I have explained on the basis of assumption. This must be happening, the saturation must be reached, that's why this equation must be following. All assumptions I have done. But now mathematically my assumption will be proved correct if you do this graph. But here I want to mention this graph or this relation holds true only for lower pressures. And until the adsorbate molecules make an unimolecular layer on adsorbent. Remember this, okay? Because you are observing pressure, okay? Due to pressure, the adsorbate molecules are making a unimolecular layer. Up to this unimolecular layer only this. Suppose it is more pressure you are giving. At higher pressure, why? Suppose you are giving more pressure you are giving from here, okay? However, it is not dependent on pressure, okay? Still, what will happen is that due to more pressure, some of the molecules will try to form a bimolecular layer. At that time, this line will not be held straight. Why this line will not be held straight at higher pressures? It will bend because this graph has come from this graph. Now, here I have assumed that the amount of adsorption is, or the extent of adsorption is not dependent on pressure after saturation pressure. But if still bimolecular layer, like I have shown, observes, then to here from here little bit increase will be there. No, then my assumption will become wrong here. It will not give a straight line. So at higher pressure, what happens? That this doesn't follow a straight line. That also you should keep in your mind. Yeah, so this is what all about it. Now if anyone asks you log x by m is equals to log k plus 1 by n into log p. Now this log k lies in the y-axis only. Now for different gases, this log k will be different. For some gas it may start from here, so log k will be this much. For some gas it may start from here, so log k will be this much. So log k actually depends, or the value of k depends on the nature of the adsorbate and adsorbent. মানে কোন দুটার which two adsorbent and adsorbate you are using, depending on that log k টা কোথা থেকেও শুরু হতে পারে, ঠিক আছে? না হলে বাকিটা সব সেম থাকবে. So this is the relationship of pressure on adsorption. Now remember, this equation cannot not only be drawn with the help of pressure. There is also, this one was done for solid adsorbent and gaseous adsorbate. This was done for this. But however, suppose for example you have taken charcoal. Suppose you have taken charcoal, or in colored organic solution, like real juice, lychee juice. These examples are very interesting examples. You know that food coloring is there, right? Food coloring is there. In colored organic solution, if you put charcoal inside, it will absorb all the color and decolorize the solution. Now here adsorption is occurring, that solute is being absorbed. Okay, however positive adsorption is only occurring, but solute is being absorbed. Okay, however suppose you have NH4OH solution. In NH4OH solution also, if you put charcoal, if this is charcoal, in NH4OH solution there are a lot of NH3 ammonia roaming around. Okay, they all absorb the ammonia, means again a solute is absorbed from a solution. Acetic acid from organic solutions can be absorbed with the help of charcoal. Why I am giving these examples? Because these examples are not the examples of solid absorbing a gas, but these are examples of solid absorbing a solute. But interesting thing is that these will also follow the same graph, x by m will be equals to K into C to the power 1 by N. In just place of pressure, there is concentration. Means it will depend on concentration. Higher the concentration, higher will be the adsorption up to a certain extent, and then after that it will become a this type of curve. Just in place of P you have to put C, and there will be a saturation concentration also. That's it. And in case of log also, it will just become log x by m log k 1 by n log C, and not log P. That's all. It's just like pressure. So that thing you should remember. And yeah, so that is all about adsorption isotherm. Now we will learn about adsorption isobar.